Welcome, everyone. Hello. How are you guys doing? So, um, I'm not really gonna post anything UTPR wise for the next few days, or at least the entire month, because I want to try some new things out. So, if you don't really see too much UTPR, you know why. But I'm just saying, it isn't me just quitting UTPR all of a sudden. I just want to spread out to some new content and find some more stuff that might, appease me. But for now, um, I have some sort of story to tell more about me and my experiences through a certain group or community on Roblox called ROMOB. And I've been a part of it for over a year. And let's just say my experience of the group is something else that you guys have never seen in any other Roblox clan community of sorts. Well, you guys already know what to do by now. Like, subscribe, share the video of some other friends, It might not be about UTPR or anything like that, but it's my personal experience through ROMOB and, how it technically shaped a lot of how I interact with other people on Roblox. Regardless, everyone, other than that, let's just begin with my experience with the ROMOB community and how it shaped how I view things and what I do on a daily basis. So, before I even start, what is the ROMOB community? What is it about? And let me just give out some of my explanations from my personal experience and knowledge from this. I know it might not sound too accurate, but the ROMOB community has been active ever since the beginnings of Roblox. Not like before Roblox went mainstream, like a bit after it, but in its like more classy tones of sorts. Apparently, ROMOB was basically filled with people who just not roleplay, but how can I say this? People who want to be in gangs or, other groups so bad that they reenact it. It's like those stupid, Soviet Union groups, but, a lot less racist. And, to be honest, the ROMOB community can get wild at times, but it gets to a degree where there's some sort of calm and peace in it. But besides the point, let me just get to what makes the community special. One of the key factors that make ROMOB special is that it is split into different types of categories when it comes to gangs. There's like, the American gangsters and all that, biker gangs, Russians, triads, Irish gangs, and then there's mine, the Yakuzas. And each of these groups do their own respective things. They recruit, they do events, they fight other groups on a daily basis in certain games. And to even notice them, they have different color schemes on their avatars, what they wear, what they do, how they talk to people. Even if there's like certain Yakuzas like in one like group or category, there's like multiple different groups or Yakuza groups or gangster groups of sorts or triads or whatnot fighting for their own individual power, which makes the community somewhat special because it's just a constant fight to just see which clan is bigger, wins the most fights, has the most clips, propaganda, whatnot. It's just really what makes a clan like ROMOB special, At one point during ROMOB's like highlights, like a couple years back before I even heard or even joined ROMOB, I think it was when I was first getting into Roblox on like my first few alt accounts or whatever on Roblox. That was when a few people in the ROMOB community had disarrays on what they should do about community members. So they have this special system of sorts, and it's what makes the community like extremely unique, different from the rest of the other clanning communities where, oh, if someone gets exiled they can just come back. No, there's a certain place, like a system in place, that keeps every single person in check, and that system is called wax. Now, what is a whack exactly? Well, that is what I had in mind when I first joined my few groups. The first group that I've joined is called 𝓜𝓾𝓷𝓮𝓭, the biggest ROMOB group, still the biggest ROMOB group at the current moment. Lots of drama, lots of people exposed, huge history. It's been alive for nearly a decade, and the clan is still going strong. That's why a lot of groups that I've joined have went against 𝓜𝓾𝓷𝓮𝓭, but besides the point, that was the first ever ROMOB group that I've joined so far. And I've only stayed there for a week. I was kicked out immediately because they've never taught me the true discipline of, what I'm supposed to do in the groups, how I'm supposed to behave. And so I've taken at least a gap month in a way, just figuring out, hey, why was I kicked and all, But so I joined another group called 𝓤𝓾𝓼𝓲𝓬, another ROMOB group, and they've taught me what wax are in particular, or at least particularly what they can do to you permanently. So, like I said a minute ago, wax are a certain way of getting certain people out of the ROMOB community for good. How exactly? Well, the process of whacking is difficult, but it's worth it in the end for certain groups. Here is how you whack people in the ROMOB community. Whack games are not the simplest to make. The thing is, you have to make it realistic with the type of group you're in. So if you're in a Yakuza, then you have to make it around some type of Japanese-like theme. If you're Italian, then Italian themed. If you're in a Russian type of group, Russian themed. Triad, okay, whatever, you get the point. And then after that, you have to add realistic weapons that you can use on command. And then after that, you have a whack game. All whack games in the ROMOB community have descriptions that say wax valid. If it's wax invalid, that means whatever kill that they use with those admin weapons or whatnot, the guns, knives, as long as it's realistic, then they don't count. But if the game says wax valid and they kill you while the game has the wax valid description on it, then you are whacked. And then after that, there is no saving you from there. Well then, Genichiro Kamimoto, Poopster, whatever you can call me. What does that mean? No saving you from there. What do you mean by that? Well, the thing is, imagine someone adds you randomly on Roblox if you join a ROMOB group for the first time, and you got accustomed to it. They will lure you into their game with false promises. And as soon as you're in the game, the first step they have to do is just record, inspect your avatar, and then kill you. That's it. Then they upload it to YouTube as an unlisted video, and then that's how you're whacked. There's also certain whacks too, like safety whacks, where a group initiates a whack on you while you're inside the group, and that's only for people who are higher ranks. So that way, if you were to betray the group, they'd have your whack, and then you can't join other groups, technically making you useless and immobile. Think of getting whacked as if you cheated too much in school, on tests, quizzes, other things. Eventually, if you were to go to college with those type of things, maybe even in high school, from high school you go to college and all that, a professor will get marked up. I think that's what I've heard from other schools of mine. A professor will get marked up saying, hey, this guy cheated. Hey, you're saying. But unlike that, where the professor still has to accept you anyway in their classroom, the leaders will not. Because even if you do join a group, you're whacked. You don't get included into other group activities. There is one way that you can get unwhacked in the ROMOB community, and that's only by paying 1,000 Robux to change your username. Because that username that you used on your account, tainted. That's all. Now that I've explained what whacks are, and I'm sorry if it took up too much of your time, I will now try and delve a little bit deeper into my experiences in ROMOB. So, yeah. I joined 𝓜𝓾𝓷𝓮𝓭 and then only lasted a week, but then got kicked out and joined another group for the rest of the summer of 2024, or I think so, yeah, the rest of the year of 2024, or at least part of it during the summer, and then as soon as it was the fall, the group disbanded. And then from there, I moved from group to group to group to group to group. Just constantly moving groups. And I couldn't really decide which one I wanted to stay in. Because whenever I wanted to stay in one for, I don't know, a few weeks, it just dies out. Nobody really attends to group events, and then I just end up leaving the group and just joining another. And that's how it was for the past couple months going to 2025. And then around the start of 2025 in January, that is when I joined one of the largest ROMOB groups, still below 𝓜𝓾𝓷𝓮𝓭, but its name before was not tainted. Now it's tainted in a way because of what the leader's done. But to be honest, that group has changed a bit of a lot, other than the other groups that forced me to stop wearing my rat avatar. The group there was still the same, I mean, what am I even saying at this point? When I was trying to move into other groups, like the ones that I didn't really stay in for too long, they forced me to stop wearing the rat avatar that I've usually used. And then over time, I just stopped using the rat avatar. I mean, I have the choice and free will now to use it, but I don't feel like using it anymore. It hasn't been like what I've been using for the past few years now. It was just the Yakuza outfit that I have now, Regardless, I'm going off topic, so let's just get back on course. The thing is, the group that I've joined before the large group that I've joined back in January was a triad. But from there, it was kind of slowly dying out like the rest of the other groups that I've joined that shaped me into who I am. To at least allow me to fit in to what other people think I should be being, I guess. I don't know what else to say. But the thing is, the group accepted the triad and was basically merged into the Yakuza. It was called Michitaka-ika. Michitaka-ika. Repeat that for me. Michitaka-ika. One of the biggest Yakuza groups of that time. And for me, at first, it felt like the largest ROMOB group that I've ever joined in a while compared to 𝓜𝓾𝓷𝓮𝓭. Like, it felt huge, it felt big, like there were a lot of faces and people that I've never really known much about or anything like that. But remember, I did mostly Yakuzas. Just one triad group, but just mostly Yakuzas in the ROMOB community. Speaking of which, before I get into more of what I've got to say, allow me to introduce you to the hierarchy of these ROMOB groups, or at least the Yakuza ROMOB side of things, I suppose. Well, regardless, I've stayed with the group for, I don't know, start of 2026, again, till I think, near the end of summer. Then the group shut down for some reason why, and yeah, that's my experience. But through that, every single group I've joined through, I've gained some type of relation, some experience with some people, more on how the ROMOB community works, and overall, it feels great to, finally be more cooperative with ROMOB community in a way. I mean, it's sometimes disastrous, but only because of the egotistical people in the community that make it worse. Forcing people to go into uniforms, do flash wars and whatnot, just for a chance for their clan to be headlined, or just go on the headlines or something like that, just for something famous, blah blah blah, whatever. My only goal for joining the ROMOB community was to try and gain more relations with people, build up strong connections, get to know more people inside the clan. Yet at the end of the day, every single time you do an event, it just feels like something is missing. You've done so much for the clan, just pouring in effort and support. But one day the clan can just suddenly just crumble and everything you just put into it, the work, the effort, all just go to waste just one day. Something like that could happen. Nobody knows. But for me, I just try my best to try and stay out of drama and all that. Michitaka was the last ROMOB group I have ever joined so far. In the next video, we'll cover over why I have not wanted to, participate more in the community when it comes to ROMOB. Regardless, that'll be all. I'm sorry if this was short, messed up, confusing, or whatever that you'd think it would be. But for now, this is the best way I can try and portray most of what I have been through the past year or two when I was trying to create content. Like, subscribe, share, and thank you for the support that you've been pouring in so far. At the current moment, if you check my channel page or just down below the video, you see I have 1,050 subscribers, just 50 more till I reach the goal. I'm thinking that we'd reach the goal by the end of September, maybe the start of October, because I want to get things done and over, out of the way mostly. Again, thank you for everything, guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace. Banzai.